Hi guys! So today I want to do a look inspired by Valentine's. To be honest, I'm not really a person who's ever cared about Valentine's Day that much, but I just want an excuse to use some glitter hearts. Not that I really need an excuse to use glitter hearts. I can use glitter hearts whenever I want to, but I just figured it would go very well with the theme. I haven't really planned what I'm going to do. I have a rough idea, so I'm going to just guide you through it and tell you every step that I do. And then I'll show you how you can apply bigger chunks of glitter in the best way and how to get a more precise application. So as you can probably already tell, I have done most of my base. I have not done blush or highlighter because I want to see where this goes before I choose the intensity of the blush or the color or anything. And the same thing with the highlighter. I'm going to start with the eyes. I have done separate videos on how I do my base and my brows and my lips. So if you want like a guide for those specific things, please check those out. So the first thing I want to start with is tucking my hair behind my ear so I don't get that everywhere. As you may have noticed, I have freshly dyed my hair yellow. It took me a while to do so. I've been using a very good shampoo to keep it yellow, and I ran out and I've just been lazy about getting a new one, so now I had to re-dye it. But usually when I use that shampoo it just stays bright yellow all the time. But yeah, so now I've re-dyed it and it's just nice and bright yellow. If you're wondering what kind of shampoo I'm talking about, it's the Vivid shampoos by Celeb Luxury. I believe they have a lot of different colors. And I swear to God, that shampoo is so effective, and also it's got the nicest consistency ever. I've never felt anything so soft and lovely in my life. And like, even if I were not going to continue having yellow hair, I would look up if they have a normal shampoo in the same consistency because it's so lovely. So if you have just one shade in your hair and you would like to touch it up regularly without having to use dye, that shampoo kind of perks up your color every time you wash it, and it still conditions your hair. So it's a really good shampoo. So I would look into that if you have brightly colored hair. So that's just a little bit of information about my hair. Now I'm going to continue with the actual tutorial. So I'm going to go in with a shimmery pink shade. This one is a bit used, though it looks a bit wonky. But it's by MAC and it's called Cherry Topped. And I'm going to apply that all over my lid. And I'm just using a flat brush to pat this on, just to really build up the intensity quickly. Chunkier and more glittery shadows like this tend to have some fallout, so using a more compact brush to pat it on will hopefully create less. Also, now that I've applied the color, I'm going to use a blending brush just to soften that a little bit and maybe wing it out a bit. So just to soften the edges even more and blow it out a bit more, I'm going to use a blush by MAC. This one is from a collection. I believe the collection was Flamingo Pink. So it's not a blush that they have in store all the time. And I'm just using that softly on the outer edge. So I just went ahead and did the same thing on the other eye. I want to smoke it out a little bit more. So far I've been using a smaller blending brush. This is the 221 by MAC. It's my favorite because it's so tiny. But now that I'll be smoking it out a bit more, I can use a bigger one because it's going to be very soft anyway. You can obviously decide what blending brushes you'd like. If you like them smaller, things like the 221 is very good. If you want something bigger, there's obviously a lot of other options. So use whatever suits your eye shape. When you're smoking it out like this, use very little on your brush to keep it soft. You can even blend it out more if you have enough product on there without putting anything on the actual brush. So now that I'm liking how this looks, I'm going to do a little bit underneath, but I'm going to do a little bit of a different shape. I like a lot of weird shapes for my eyes, and obviously this is not supposed to be a super wearable look. It's just supposed to be a little bit fun, a little bit more creative. So I'm going to go in with the blush that I used to smoke out the shimmery pink. And I'm placing that just in the middle underneath. You're welcome to use a smaller brush than I'm using. I couldn't find mine. So I'm just using the corner of this. And then after placing that, I'm going to put a little bit on my 221 brush and smoke that out. I'm not sure why, but I've always liked to have just one dot of color under the eye. I just think it looks really cool. If you want to smoke the whole color around the eye and as like a big blown out smoky. If you want to have the color all around the eye and just like a pink smoky eye, you can obviously do that. That's up to you. So now that I've done that, I'm going to be adding blush. So I'll be using Pinwheel from the Infinity palette. And I'm going to go in quite heavily with this. I'm actually going to be going in a little bit with Rosy Cheeks from MAC as well. This is an extra dimension blush. And I actually want to put a little bit of that on my 221 brush just to give a bit more depth in the outer corners of my eye as well. Just a little bit. So now I'll be using a very, very fine glitter. It's Reflex Glitter by MAC. It's in pink. And I'm just putting that on my finger. And the nice thing about this is it's so fine that you can just apply it with your fingers. You usually don't need to put down any like glue or anything to make it stick. And I'm applying that to the middle of my lid for some intense shine. And I actually think I'm going to pop this in the inner corner as well. When I'm going to pop a little bit in the inner corner, I use my pinky because I feel like this doesn't take up that much space, obviously. Because I feel like whenever I use any other finger, it just gets everywhere. Ooh, that is cool. I must say that glitter looks really cool, and it's just like, I just forget between using them how cool they actually are. So just to have some highlighter on the brow bone as well, I'll be going into Milky Way in the Infinity palette and a big fluffy brush. So I have applied my mascara. On the bottom, I only applied in the middle where the pink is. You can obviously apply all over if you'd like. So now we're going to continue to the most fun part, but also the most time-consuming part, which is gluing on the hearts. For this, I like to use this, I guess is a silicone brush meant for eyeliner by Real Techniques. I really don't like it for eyeliner. For me, it doesn't work at all. But I like to use this to attach glitter because it's so precise. So what I do is usually I pop a bit of glue on the back of my hand. I'm just using lash glue, duo glue, and then I'll be just dotting on the glue and then putting on the stars. So I want the hearts to be placed kind of randomly. They don't have to be in a like symmetric position or anything. So I'm just going to start with dotting on some glue, and then usually with the leftover glue I have on the applicator, it's easy to pick up the hearts. Usually if there's a lot of glue left on the brush, I will wipe some of it off. So I put down a dot of glue and then I attached the hearts. A good tip for when you're applying the hearts is to use small amounts of glue. Because the thing is, if you put a big blob on, and you put the heart over or whatever you're attaching, the glue will seep through around it, and it can look a bit chunky and weird. So use small amounts of glue. So now I've placed down all the hearts. I think I'm going to stop here. I don't want more than this. You can obviously put more if you want. You can put them on your entire face if you'd like. You can put on less. This is your choice, but I think it's a fun little detail. And I think it looks really cute. I really like this. So for last, all I want to do is add a little bit of something on my lips. And I actually want to try to do something that's red. Sometimes red and pink can be a bit like, it doesn't really work, but sometimes it can look so cool together. So I want to try with a little bit of red and see what it looks like and see if I like it. I'm just going to use a little bit of Cherry Lip Liner by MAC. I'm going to use very little of this because I don't want a very defined lip. I just want a little bit of color. So I'm placing it in the middle. I'm just patting it on. So now that I've put on the red, I'm actually really liking the soft red lip, but I want to mix it in with a little bit more pink, so I'm just going to put a bit of a pink patent polish by MAC over it. This is called, I actually don't know which one this is because it's faded. I think it's called Hopelessly Devoted or something like that. And so for last, I just want to put on a bit of highlighter, so I'm going to use Milky Way from the Infinity palette. I had a lot of fun with this. It's been a while since I've sat down and like attached this much glitter on my face, and glitter makes me really happy. So before I go, there's something I would like to mention. You might have noticed that my videos might look different in terms of the lighting and everything. This is because even though I have a ring light, I'm also sitting by the window because I like to have the mix between the ring light and the natural daylight. But also because this time of year the weather changes quite a lot. The lighting changes quite a lot. I try to edit to make everything look the way I see it when I'm looking in the mirror. But this can be a bit difficult sometimes. So if you've even noticed this, that's why. I just want to say that I hope you'll have a great Valentine's Day, whether you care about the day or not. And whether you're spending it alone or with someone else, it shouldn't really matter. You do what you like. I'll be spending Valentine's Day cuddling with my cats, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I love them to bits. So no matter what you're doing, I hope you have fun, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye!